Hello, my name is Mike Sahari, and I'm here at the Church of Scientology, Mission of Riverdale at 308 Broadview. And today, this is Sunday service number 70, The Importance of Truth in Society. Now, I'm going to start off by just defining a little bit of what exactly truth is, and then we will get into the article about it. So truth could be defined, first off, that which agrees with facts and observations. That's one definition. Another one would be logical answers resulting from looking over facts and data. Another one, a conclusion based on evidence uninfluenced by desire. Another one, authority or prejudice, an inevitable, unavoidable fact, no matter how it is arrived at. So we have things as they are or as they are seen, not supposed, or things that you look over something, you see what it is, you draw conclusions from, and that becomes data, or that is your data, and that becomes your truth that you're going to operate with. And that can be in many things in life. It can be things that you read, things that you see, things that you were told. Anything that you get data, you weigh it against, is it workable? Does it improve something in some way? Does it lead to an inevitable conclusion? You take water, you apply heat to it, you apply enough heat to it, water boils. So that's truth, that's a fact. It's unavoidable. You put the water and the heat together, something's going to happen. The boiling water is the truth of application of heat to water, as an example. Okay? So here we go. Now, what do you think of our world if everybody operated on truth only? So today, we're going to do the sermon, and it's going to be based on the book, The Way to Happiness. And it's written by L. Ron Hubbard, and it's chapter 7, Seek to Live with the Truth. Okay? I may give examples or I may clear up words as we're going along. It's not a long thing, but I want to make sure that we get it. So here we go. So prefixed with, do not tell harmful lies. Harmful lies are the product of fear, malice, and envy. So if we look at that for a second, if you're afraid that somebody could know something, or afraid that somebody could be more strong, better educated, better in a position of more power, if you're afraid of those things, then one of the things that people do is they lie about the information that they give to this other person. So he's operating not on truth, he's operating on something completely different. And so he's not able to take that information and lead it to obviously observable conclusions or bettering of life, making things more sane, straighten things out. That would be a bad thing. I'll continue. They can drive people to acts of desperation. They can ruin lives. They create a kind of trap into which the teller and the target can both fall. Now you have the person who's receiving the information, and he may take it as gospel. It must be true, I'm being told. And yet it's not workable. He tries it and it doesn't work. So then he goes back and he tries to find out from the person who gave him the information, questioning him on the information, the data, which isn't true. But now the person telling, he's not likely to give up his motives as to why he colored the information. So he'll create a whole other bunch of lies about why it is that that information actually is true and it's really your fault, which again is lessening the individual that he's giving the information to, which leads us all the way back to fear, malice, and envy. Okay? So lies beget or create, have something fall forward, beget more lies. And that's a nasty little spiral that we can get into. I'll carry on. Interpersonal and social chaos can result. Many wars began because of harmful lies. one should learn to detect them and reject them. So we don't even have to get to a level of a war, but we certainly could easily enough where we're told things that are not true. They're not true, they're uninspected. We just make assumptions. So we go in there under certain assumptions and then we don't find things. And then we wonder, why are we doing this anyway? But it's the same thing with an interpersonal relationship on a smaller scale, whether it's parent to child or husband to wife, wife to husband. You know, it's like you start to create almost an alternate universe of where, say, the husband asks the wife, well, how was your day? And the wife says, well, the day was just totally fine, except that it wasn't really fine. But she doesn't want to upset the husband. So she creates for herself this whole other universe of what occurred that day, whereas actually it never did occur that way. It's a lie, and she's lying to herself, and then she's lying to her husband. So now she has to remember two truths: the created truth, which isn't a truth at all, and the actual truth, which she's not divulging. And after a while, it gets confusing as to which actually occurred, what happened. And the husband may question her about it, and she can get confused as to, well, what did occur, because she really would have to believe it. And that again creates turmoil, untrust, because we're not dealing with truth. It's the simplest thing in the world to go, no, it was a rotten day, such and such happened. I pulled out of the driveway, a car honked his horn, called the police, got a ticket, oh my God. But that would be the truth. And if the husband was smart, he would go, wow, rotten day. That's really bad. End of it. Because that would be the truth. That would be all. Not a whole lot of, well, why did that happen? How come? Who said? Why? And it gets complicated. Way more complicated than it needs to be. Okay? I'll move on. Do not bear false witness. So what that means is, don't say that somebody did something that they didn't do. Okay? A false witness would be a witness that colored events in some fashion to benefit him or somebody who's close to, protect, whatever, and you're making this person that you're talking about a target of something that is incorrect and untrue. All right? There are considerable penalties connected with swearing or testifying to untrue facts. Facts is in quotation marks because they're not facts. It is called perjury. It has heavy penalties. So when you're asking somebody, and you see this sometimes in a Hollywood movie where as you're watching the movie, you're seeing what occurred, and then you're seeing a court scene which is supposed to pull down the truth. But the lawyer or the judge stops them from telling the whole story. So they tell to a point, and then they're told to stop. But they don't get told the reason, the circumstances, whatever the computations were, which would put a completely different picture on the truth of what it is that occurred. So consequently, the judgment that's leveled based on this evidence is an incorrect judgment because it's not operating on a full truth. You have a partial truth, or you have a colored truth because you don't have all the information. Okay? So if you're trying to convey a truth from one person to another, then it's best to just convey the whole truth, or convey as much of the truth as the other person can handle. If you're talking, say, as a parent to a child about something that's complicated, obviously don't get into explaining the entire workings of an automobile engine. He's not going to be able to understand it. But if you can convey it in such a fashion that's true to the operation of an engine, but simplified, then he could have that and he could think with it, and it's clean and it's knowledgeable, and you're a good source of information. Okay? The last part here is the way to happiness lies along the road to truth, obviously. All right. I'm going to now do the prayer for total freedom. May the author of the universe enable all men to reach an understanding of their spiritual nature. May awareness and understanding of life expand so that all may come to know the author of the universe. And may others also reach this understanding which brings total freedom. Now this aligns with what we've just talked about with truth. If you could understand truthfully all of these things, the knowledge of the universe and who is the author of the universe, then you would have a total freedom. And that would be the inevitable result. And if you weren't getting there, somewhere in there is an untruth. I'll carry on. At this time, we think of those whose liberty is threatened, of those who have suffered imprisonment for their beliefs, and of those who are enslaved or martyred, and for all those who are brutalized, trapped, or attacked. We pray that human rights will be preserved so that all people may believe and worship freely, so that freedom will once again be seen in our land. Freedom from war and poverty and want, freedom to be, freedom to do, and freedom to have. Freedom to use and understand man's potential, a potential that is God-given and God-like. And freedom to achieve that understanding and awareness, that is total freedom. May God let it be so. All right. So I'm going to end here with this thought for you. So try to think your own way through things. Accept what is true for you and disregard the rest. Read and apply what is in the book, The Way to Happiness. All right? Okay. Our church is at 308 Broadview. It is now open for a limited number of people with our safety protocols in place. If you would like to attend a service or an interview with a person, please call at 416-789-1889 to make an appointment. All right? Have a good day and thank you.